this article was actually, the intent behind it was to explain to us that, you know, crimes do pay. And people make a living off of crime. Now, these individuals have trouble securing a job or are only qualified for low-wage positions. Some people commit a variety of crimes, from pickpocketing and shoplifting to robbing a bank, selling drugs and weapons to earn income. So to help fight crime, scholars and policymakers need to better understand why people commit crimes to get money and how much they bring in.
And also maybe what they could do to, you know, lower the crime rate.
Well, yeah, that's what they're hoping to do. That's why they made this study, right? And so this study was made in Pennsylvania State University and the University of Maryland College Park by two professors, Holly Nguyen and Thomas Logan, to try and gauge out how much money people earn through criminal activities and whether self-reports of illegal income are reliable. And see, that's another thing. So, unfortunately, the system itself, like you said, is allowing a lot of these people to get away with what they're doing by laundering their money. You know, so they don't even have a foolproof way of dealing with all the people that, you know, are selling their drugs or committing their crimes and then sending the money places outside the federal government's jurisdiction. Like in Switzerland, you know, people would be sending their money to Swiss bank accounts or the new cryptocurrency, right? So they're allowing all these new forms of money laundering to take place. And so that's another thing where I feel like the system isn't really that reliable either, right? Because they're allowing all these loopholes where people could actually make their illegal money and there's no like data trail or paper trail of where that money goes. And so it's becoming harder and harder to find any like reliable reports for this illegal income.
Especially with Bitcoin and stuff like that.
Exactly. Like that's just a new method that I feel was primarily intended for people like that. You know, people that are trying to launder their money. And nobody really knows because it's not like, you know, cryptocurrency is controlled by the government.
Yeah.
And so they don't really understand why this is happening, yet they're allowing it to happen. If they wanted, they could have stopped it. If they wanted, they could have made it illegal. And so that's another thing where you start to realize the intricacies of the corruption that's going on within the system.
Yeah, but you do have some sites where it's like they'll ban you from like say Cash App, for instance. Cash App will ban you from uploading or from getting Bitcoin if they feel like you're laundering money.
Yeah, but you know that's
I've
not
had a couple
necessarily that's not necessarily where people would go.
Yeah, but that's not the government.
Money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's there's so many ways now to do it. You know, it's not just cryptocurrency.
That's not the only way.
So many. There's been ways since time immemorial. And and so you know, like that's the issue. That's what I feel is something that they should work on, something that they should resolve. And so the individuals that participated in this study were split into two groups. The Pathways study, and those were the people that were convicted of a felony at some point between the ages of 14 and 17, and then were tracked for 7 years. They were interviewed about illegal work and illegal income. The final sample comprised 368 individuals, most of whom were male and either black or Hispanic. The average age of the participants was 21 years old. Now, the other group was the National Supported Work Demonstration Project, which is the NSW for short. So the individuals who participated in the NSW project, which was offered to 15 sites nationwide, were unemployed and had a history of employment problems, but may not have had criminal backgrounds. So they were people who couldn't actually, get a proper job. These individuals also were asked about illegal earnings and activities. The 1,189 people in the final sample were primarily male and black and ranged in age from 16 to 49 years.